Alright, what's going on, guys, and welcome to a sort of brand new segment on this channel that I've kind of been sitting on since the Monster Taming Direct went live, but basically this will be a segment where we take a closer look at various upcoming monster taming games, exploring what they entail, how they play, and I get one-on-one with the game developers and provide a short exclusive interview based on several spicy questions. I've already got a few of these in the works, however today we have Tragsoft, aka the developers of Coromon, and the upcoming title Coromon Rogue Planet, which I'm really excited to dive into with you guys. I asked them questions about the future of the Coromon series, new Coromon that are coming to Coromon Rogue Planet, and more still. That being said, make sure to let me know in the comments which games you want to see me cover next, and I'll see if I can't wrangle the developers of said games and get them on the channel too. Let's dive in. Okay, so Coromon, if you didn't already know, is a monster taming franchise consisting of one released game, Coromon, a turn-based monster taming RPG, and an upcoming title that sort of acts as a direct sequel to it, Coromon Rogue Planet, which is a turn-based roguelike title that aims to take the Coromon battle formula to the next level. The game will also be expanding on the Coromon universe and even adds new playable characters with their own special abilities and Coromon to the mix. We're going to get more into depth on how the battle system will be complexified when talking to one of the developers. However, in terms of the overall narrative of the game is sort of piggybacking off of the events of the original Coromon and acts as a sort of bridge for the potential Coromon sequel that was teased at the end of that game. I'm not going to be spoiling anything, so don't worry, but essentially Rogue Planet has you searching for spaceship parts in order to fuel a trip to the stars. Dual-type Coromon have been added to the mix, as well as Crimsonite forms for every Coromon, and we're even getting new Coromon that were not present in the original. The Coromon franchise has a pretty interesting history with this channel, as it was one of the first monster taming games I've ever covered. I'm even an NPC in the first game, which is dope, and Coromon Rogue Planet was actually revealed at one of our monster taming directs, with the most recent trailer being showcased at Monster Taming Direct 2025. This isn't just a group of people making a monster taming game in response to a growing genre, but instead pioneers of the modern monster taming scene in general. I did get a chance to ask the developers several questions directly, and Jaren, the narrative designer, was gracious enough to answer them. What you're going to be hearing are his direct responses to these questions, so I hope you enjoy. Question 1. Tell us about some of the improvements Coromon Rogue Planet is making to the core battle system of the franchise.
Yeah, so the Monster Tamer Direct already covered some of the upcoming features, right? For example, Coromon now have primary and secondary type affinities, and that means that every skill that you use, there are, 6 levels of type effectiveness, so there's a way wider range of effectiveness in battles. You can also send out 2 Coromon at once, what we call double battles, right? And that really changes the way that you approach fights. You wind up thinking more about team synergy, about strategizing. Do you want one Coromon to use support moves? Do you want both to go in on the attack? And it just adds a lot of very fun strategy and tactics to the whole battle experience. Also, the Crimsonite shield mechanic, so that's going to make Crimsonite battles way more interesting, but it also lets us do some really fun mechanics with some of the bosses that we have planned. I don't want to say too much about those, but we're really, really excited about some of what we're able to do with that. Alongside of that is the new battle UI, which is just way more streamlined than the previous version, right? It speeds up the fights. It really optimizes kind of the turn-based flow of the fight. It telegraphs a little bit about what you can expect your enemy to do on their next turn. So you're no longer just picking what is the most optimal move to use in the moment. And now you're thinking a couple steps ahead. You're being a little bit more choosy. You're planning a strategy, which just makes every battle way, way deeper. Also in Rogue Planet, not only the Coromon are participating in the battles. So we've got these really, really awesome new playable characters. And each playable character during the course of a game can gain these signature items that sort of let them step in and fight alongside their Coromon in really, really cool and unique ways, right? Every character kind of has their own unique way that they're able to do this. And then it winds up turning, what would normally be, a traditional monster tamer fight into more of like a real partnership between a character and their Coromon. And on top of all of that, right, Coromon Rogue Planet is a roguelite game. And that just means that we get to take the monster tamer formula and sort of turn it on its head. You've got this great big spaceship with these mysterious origins, and it's crash landed, and it's sort of scattered all of these really interesting pieces of technology, these cool little artifacts, and players are able to find this weird alien tech and sort of unlock powers that break the laws of physics, that deepen bonds with Coromon or change the way that they behave. And each one of those artifacts can kind of contribute to, making every single run feel really unique.
Question 2, why a roguelike this time around?
So after spending 10 years working on the first Coromon game, we really wanted to challenge ourselves and do something that we had never done before. Coromon Rogue Planet is exactly that, right? It challenges us to change the way that we think about game design, change the way that we think about Coromon. That's why a lot of our core systems have really evolved, is because we've really pushed ourselves into this new and unfamiliar space, and it's broadened our horizons a lot. It's also a smaller and faster and lighter project, but that expediency gave us the ability to really get experimental and push ourselves creatively. So we've expanded the Coromon world. We've built up the narrative that we've been working on. We've even grown the team at Tragsoft and brought on some new folks, which has been so much fun. And now that we are looking at this game that we're building, we're seeing everything that we've got so far. We're just so excited. We feel like you guys are going to be so surprised and so delighted, and we think it's going to be a fantastic addition to the Coromon universe.
Question 3, is there anything you can tell us about the new Coromon being introduced?
Yeah, so I don't want to go too into details of some of the new species, because I'm really excited about them and we have some very cool reveals for them. But what I can say, right, is almost, but not all, almost all of the new Coromon are related to the 6 playable characters, right? Each character has this personal storyline and these distinct personality traits, and we created these Coromon sort of in tandem with those so that they would have this very, very fun, unique role in the character's story, right? And it really lets us create these very fun, really deep and believable partnerships between the trainer and the Coromon. This also lets us kind of connect the character growth that the character goes through to the character growth and the evolutions that their Coromon goes through, and create these very cool parallels. Here, I'll give you an example. So we have Sage. She is this really cute but clumsy witch character, and she's always brewing these potions, right, and working up these spells. But of course, you can't do this kind of magic without gathering up some ingredients. And so she befriends Burdusk, which is this very cute crow Coromon. And if you know anything about crows, they love to collect things. They look for shiny things, and so it's a really natural pairing, just beyond crows being an interesting symbolism in traditional old school Western magic stuff. You also have these cool creatures that are really, really good at foraging and gathering up those ingredients. And then there's Chark. But as much as I want to tell you about that's a story for another time, I think.
Question 4, what platforms are confirmed and which are you aiming for?
Oh yeah, we're aiming for a wide release, of course, but we're still working out the specifics for all the platforms and all the timelines for the release. Coromon Rogue Planet is designed as a desktop and console first game, so we'll be able to make great use of that new larger screen real estate. We're going to be able to add key mapping, mouse hover actions in the UI, a lot of very, very cool new features with that new mindset. We're also exploring the possibility of additional consoles like Xbox and PlayStation. Of course, we can't promise those yet, but it's something that we're really interested in doing. And of course, we're still planning on bringing the game to mobile. We know that the first Coromon game was really, really popular on mobile, so we've still got plans to bring Rogue Planet to both Android and Apple.
And question 5, can you tell us anything about the future of Coromon as a franchise past Rogue Planet?
Yeah, we would love to continue expanding the world of Coromon because we have a lot of ideas. That said, we typically approach it game by game. So right now, our full focus is just on Rogue Planet. If it really performs well, if there's a lot of demand, we would love to move forward and start developing Coromon 2. From a narrative perspective, we're really building on what's already there. We're planting a lot of really fun seeds, so we're definitely setting things up for a continuation of that story.
Again, guys, just wanted to say special thanks to Jaren and the team at Tragsoft for answering these questions. It's great when monster taming developers work with content creators in order to enlighten the community and sort of tease what's to come. If you want to stay up to date on Coromon Rogue Planet or just the monster taming genre in general, definitely make sure to subscribe to this channel. I put out monster taming videos as my sole focus. You can also check out my Twitter, Discord, Patreon, channel memberships, all that fun stuff. Also, special thanks to our supporters, especially Candy Marunci, Tragsoft, Valorware, Wrathful Beast, and Nemo, and we'll see you next time. Peace.